Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to Mantra Monday. So Mantra Monday is a time for self-reflection, for healing, and for compassion. Just a moment to pause and think and reflect and just ponder on what you might need just to get you through the week, set your intentions for the week, and just a moment for just being revitalized. So it's been quite a week. I've had so much going on, so many beautiful blessings, gifts of healing, reparative relationships, just peace. I think there's something about peace that when it comes to you in a wave, it's such a lovely feeling. And then when it comes, it's just, you just want to capture it and just bask in it, basically, just be in it for ages, because when you're in turbulence and when there isn't flow and when your life is busy and overwhelming, it's hard to capture those moments of peace. So I'm grateful for that. This week, I'm going to go with the Self-Care deck by Cheryl Richardson. And I'm going with this deck because I think that it's time to ponder a little bit about what self-care might be. I'm in love with Vishen Lakhiani's 6-step meditation at the moment. If you haven't gotten his book, go and get it, his new book. And I love this meditation because it just goes through the different phases of gratitude. Then it goes on to sending compassion. Well, actually, it starts with compassion, sending compassion out to yourself and to the world, and then gratitude, and then forgiveness, and some other ones which you can check out. I want to stay on the forgiveness piece for a little bit because a lot of times it's easy to say the word forgive, but we're not taught how to forgive. And I remember years ago, I read one of Lisa Nicholson's books, and it was brilliant. It really had all these phases of forgiveness, and I really liked it because it wasn't just about, oh, just let it go. It actually helps for you to acknowledge the pain that you go through. And Vishen talks about this also in this particular meditation. And these are some of the things that I would often show my clients as we go through the program, because unless you're able to release these grudges, these judgments, and this pain that is keeping a score in your body, it's hard to really feel peace. I'm a testament to that. And recently, as I shared with you about my experience with Jay Shetty, it was a real release of one of those things where unforgiveness, as they say, is that poison you drink expecting someone else to die. And forgiveness really is for you. Doesn't mean that you let go of what happened, in the sense of you don't just absolve the person of whatever it is that they've done. You're just letting go and saying that it's not having power over you, it's not having a grip on you. You don't even have to go to the person to say, I forgive you. It is a practice, like a muscle that you're building, that you get to release for yourself. And forgiveness can be for you, whether it's your inner child or it's your older self or in the present moment, and it can be offered to someone else. And in this flow of forgiveness, you get to bring the person in mind. Louise Hay actually has an anger meditation about this, brilliant meditation where you just let everything out. And you bring yourself to this person and you say what it is that they've affected you with, so whatever it is that they said to you, or how they judged you, or something they may have done to you, you get to put your charge, get to say, actually, this is what you did and this is what I didn't like about it. And you can do it in whatever facet you want. There's no right or wrong here. You can be angry, you can shout, you can yell, you can say whatever you want to this person in this moment. And then you allow yourself to feel the pain in your bones. We're not dismissing what happened. We're not letting it stay repressed in our bodies. Feel it, feel the anger, feel the sadness, feel the pain, feel the hurt, feel the betrayal, the revenge, whatever it is that you're feeling. Allow yourself to feel it for that moment. And then when you come out of it, you come into empathy. And wow, this is the part that that there is true healing. People often ask me, how do I know that I'm healed? Well, healing is about being free from an injury, right? It's the reparative nature of just being restored from whatever pain it is that you were experiencing. And when you think about it in that way, free from injury, you know, I concentrate on trauma a lot, and trauma being the wounds you sustain and the associations and meanings you attach to those wounds. So those associations and meanings, say for example, at a young age, maybe you experienced domestic violence, maybe you saw some things that weren't really good for your spirit or for your energy, maybe some things were done to you. Or it could be a season where you felt abandoned or you felt rejected, and maybe you picked up a phobia at that time because of the helplessness, and then it was a spider, or it's a gecko, or it's a snake, or it's something that becomes the association and meaning of that helplessness, which was one for me, the gecko, where I was in a stage in boarding school where I was feeling helpless and feeling sort of like I couldn't do well in this particular subject, maths, which I really loved, but I just wasn't really good at the time. And this gecko falls on me, right on my shoulder. And in that moment, the gecko became that helplessness and powerlessness. And ever since, I've been scared of wall geckos until a few years and recently, where I'm just allowing myself to actually embrace it and know that, okay, that was a season in my life. And that gecko is just an innocent animal just doing what it normally does. But the meaning and association I attached to that gecko was the wound, was the trauma of I'm in a state of feeling rejected, feeling alone. And so healing is about being free from this wound, free from this injury. It doesn't mean that you're going to be whole and completely integrated, because I think we as human beings will always have those fractures inside of us. It just means that the associations don't have a power and a grip over you. So those associations that you have when maybe a parent didn't treat you right, and you internalize that and say, I'm not good enough, I'm incapable of being a success in my life, or there's so many shameful things that you've done that you feel I'm just a bad person. Those meanings and associations you can release yourself from. And in the process of forgiveness, when you're entering into that space where you're going in with the lens of empathy. So after you do your charge and you're angry and you feel your pain, then you start to ask the question, well, what was this person possibly going through? And wow, that is quite something to do when you're in that space where you can almost try and understand why they did what they did. Now, we're not excusing it. Remember, we're just bringing a perspective to the situation. And as you do that, then you offer in the forgiveness for yourself again, and you free them from this thing, this hold that they have over you or you have over them. And once you experience that freedom, you might choose to send them love, you might choose to hug them, depending on how you feel. And this is something you do repetitively. It is a muscle. It is not something you do overnight. If you believe in your divine guides, in divine love, and in your spiritual sort of forces that are there to support you, you can also ask them. Sometimes when I'm in a space where I think I don't know what to do, you can surrender and say, hey, I don't know how to forgive. I don't know how to feel angry. I don't know how to feel this pain. Show me. And the universe has a beautiful way of bringing situations that might trigger you, because remember that our triggers, they are teachers for our healing, for our growth, for our nurture. They're teachings as catalysts for change. So when you notice a trigger, it's that sign that, okay, there's something here that needs healing, freedom from this injury, freedom from this wound, from this association and meaning that you've attached to the wound. There is a need for nurture, for self-care, for loving yourself, for removing that low vibration of shame. And shame is one of the lowest vibrations, where you label yourself and you beat yourself up. So you're freeing yourself from that. And then you're bringing in love, you're bringing in compassion. So I have clients that say, oh, but Titi, it's not working. And I say, you spent so many years of your life building the muscle of I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I'm incapable, I cannot achieve, I cannot be in relationships, no one will love me, I am unlovable. It's going to take some time to build the muscle of saying, I am lovable, I am acceptable. Give yourself time and exercise this muscle. And keep engaging. This myth about time heals, no. You need to engage in the healing. Just as in the process of forgiveness, you need to do the work, engage with it, play with it, rough and tumble with it. And then you get the results of the healing and the forgiveness. But if you just leave it, time, what it does is just gives you time to forget or to numb the pain. But trust me, that trigger will come again. And when that trigger comes, sometimes it comes up as panic attacks or depression or high anxiety or PTSD, and you have no idea where this is coming from. Possibly there's a wound that has been numbed for so long that it's coming out and saying, hey, I'm tired of being numb for this long. It's time for us to react. And so when you engage, ignorance, as they say, is not bliss. It might be bliss for a period of time. But have you ever had that moment where you just feel like something isn't quite right, but you can't put your finger on it? Maybe there's a family secret, or maybe there's a secret that you've been keeping and it's bothering you, right? That's the effect of sometimes this sense of ignorance is bliss. Maybe our ancestors thought that and they kept secrets. But you feel the impact of this ignorance being bliss because unconsciously you feel the patterns of whatever it is that they were hiding inside of you. And so we want to bring these things to our awareness. Please do this with someone who can guide you. It's not easy doing it on your own. I still have my own coaches. Even as a psychotherapist, I still need my own blind spots checked. As you saw with Jay Shetty, he helped me check my blind spots. Because we're always evolving as human beings, ever evolving, ever growing. So for today, think about whatever it is in your heart. They say that, forgiveness is one of the highest vibrations. It was Vishen as well who was saying that they did this research where they put different people in pods and put them in this alpha state of meditation. And the person who was at a higher vibration was the person who was wanting to forgive her partner for the distress that he had caused her. In a sense, she was in that state of wanting and giving forgiveness, and she was at a higher vibration compared to the people who were doing yoga and who were doing journaling and all these other things, because there's something about forgiveness that releases your heart. As I said before, you don't have to go to the person, you can do the practice. Even there's a shift that happens in the energy field of you and the other person when you engage in this process. So let's see what the universe has for us today with self-care. Okay, today we're going with possibility. Focus your attention on what could go right. When you learn to imagine the best case scenario, you get to enjoy and experience twice. You get to enjoy and experience twice. So focus on the possibilities. You might be here thinking, but I don't know how to forgive. I don't know how to let things go. Focus on the what if in the beneficial way, because we have that what if brain, that catastrophizing brain with the snowball effect of which gets bigger and bigger. What if this goes wrong? What if that goes wrong? And we worry and worry and worry. You can also flip that to the other side of, well, what if it does go great? What if you can mend that relationship? What if you can get that job that you've wanted to get? What if you can live in the home that you want to live in? What if you can build that charity that you've been longing to give to for a long time? What if? And go into that what if brain and assume the best. And it's a beautiful practice. First thing in the morning, I love doing this. I wake up and I just, what if this? And not even what if, I thank the situation. I thank the abundance for coming in already. So thank you for this and thank you for that. And then I just let my mind wander into this blissfulness. It's a beautiful practice. So go into your possibilities. If you've been hurt or wounded, talk about it. It's not something to take lightly. These things are not easy to shift because they're ingrained inside of us. Talk about it. Know that when you're in a vibration of forgiveness, and you do the work and you're not having entitled expectations of the other person or of yourself, and you just free it. It flows from your heart. Trust me, I've been there. I'm doing it still. I'm still working on it, and I love his meditation because you get to do it over and over, this practice of forgiveness. And the more you forgive and the more you build this muscle, the freedom that you feel in your heart is amazing. So I hope that this week you can go in knowing that you are loved, you are worthy of healing, you're worthy of belonging, you're worthy of peace. One of my clients was saying to me this week, because we're working on their sleep patterns, and it takes, gradual exposure. And this is what I do with my clients. I don't just throw them in the deep end. I know their lifestyles and I help them gradually improve their sleep. This is a topic for another time. And this person was just saying, it's so beautiful having a good night's sleep. And a few weeks back, this just seemed like, how am I going to do this? And this person is so focused and so determined. I love that spirit, right? And with gradual exposure was able to adjust their schedule so that they can just really be in this state of peace and flow. And that's about possibility, and it starts with the mindset. So go into the week with the mindset of, well, what if I can have a good night's sleep? What if I can eat well and nourish my body? What if I can do that exercise? What if I can heal that broken relationship? And watch the miracles that will come before you. Watch how the right people will come into your life and you will attract that, be a magnet, and that vibration of healing to your life. Have a beautiful, beautiful week, and I will see you next week for Mantra Monday.